Man like Jimmy. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Well, nobody foresaw this coming, especially the Destiny community, as they have been keeping a keen focus on the relationship between Activision and Bungie. Now, Activision and Bungie have come to an agreement by where Activision will no longer have the publishing rights to Destiny the game. Now, this is big news. Now, what I wanted to do is just give my thoughts and opinions on the whole situation and where I think Destiny will be within the next couple of years or so. Now, I'm not going to go into too many of the specifics because they have been covered and there is an actual article on this, and there's been a comment from Destiny on their this week at Bungie, so I will link that in the description below so you can read that for yourself. But basically what has happened is Bungie effectively or technically will become an independent developer, but it's slightly different as Bungie are kind of like world renowned now, especially with the success of Destiny and previous titles such as Halo. Now, Activision were in partnership with Bungie and they actually gave them, or as part of their relationship, $500 million, which is a lot of money to then go forward and produce Destiny. They also provided Bungie with a number of links and associates, especially within the marketing sector, to get Destiny out there. Now that is all gone. It's all going to be Bungie are going to be a separate independent entity, so they won't have access to Activision's cash for a start, and they won't have access to Activision's links. Now, it is a big thing in the gaming community because there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of confusion or lack of foresight amongst Destiny community members and fans about where this game is going to be going in the future. Now, in terms of a fan point of view, it's great news because Activision kind of like set out a agenda for Bungie in terms of content rolling out, and what they wanted was a steady stream of content at quite a significant rate, and it meant that things weren't as polished as they could have been. Now, I think Bungie didn't respond well to this, but what actually the decider with their relationship was the Activision's earning call, where Activision came out and stated that they weren't happy or they expected to see more earnings in the period that they had set out. Now, it wasn't to say that Destiny was unsuccessful in any shape or form, it's just that Destiny as a whole didn't make as much money as Activision had forecasted. Now, they've got a lot of people working around the finance side of things and they've made projections of which Bungie did not meet. Now, what does this mean going forward? So Bungie basically have to deal with a lot of the stuff, or basically everything to do with Destiny the game themselves. They don't have access to Activision's link, they don't have access to High Moon Studios and Vicarious Visions, who are directly owned by Activision. So effectively what's going to be happening is Bungie are going to work on Destiny themselves and publish Destiny themselves. Now, what does that mean? In my eyes, what I can see is that it's going to mean slower content being rolled out, which I don't think is much of a problem because it will mean that content is more highly polished and you'll get more of a finished product compared to some of the stuff that we've been released in terms of DLCs, where it's kind of finished but then there's still patches to be made, there's bits and pieces missing, and that's because content has been rushed. So on that front, it will be good. However, there is a question mark about how Bungie are going to sustain this model and how they're going to move forward in the future. They're going to have to obviously do something in order to bring in revenue, which would mean potentially more microverse transactions, which is basically in-game purchases, or a different model in terms of how the games run. Now, some people have suggested that it could be a game that's kind of operates how Fortnite does, where there's a base game and it's continually rolling out DLCs and content and patch updates. However, I don't think Destiny is in a shape where it can actually do that because of the type of game that it is. Now, my thoughts is it's kind of make or break. I think what Destiny could do is the model that is used previously, where it involves the community and try and push the game forward with the community. I think that will be a good route to go. They're still going to need to make money, but I think their association with Activision being over, they'll be able to push microtransactions, and the fans or the fans of the game will know that the money is going directly to Bungie to maintain and sustain the game, as it were. I also feel that it will allow Bungie to make the type of game that it's always wanted to make, with a focus on the hardcore audience. During the release of Destiny 2, there was kind of like a watering down of the hardcore content, so it could appeal more to like casual players. Now obviously the problem with that is casual players will come, they'll enjoy the game, they'll give good reviews about it, but ultimately they'll move on. And there was a little bit less of a focus on the players that had been here and have stuck with Destiny through difficult times, I must admit, difficult times, and just played the game and still ground it out and enjoyed it. So I think that Destiny, in terms of the quality of the game for fans, will definitely improve. However, there is still a little bit of a question: why did Activision decide to part company with Destiny, which is quite a big franchise? They must have foresaw something in terms of sales, or they must have seen something or had some kind of foresight into where Destiny's going in the future and decided to kind of like either just jump ship or bail and start working on other projects. Now Destiny is a huge game. It was one of the top grossing games in 2018 when it released Destiny 2. So it's quite interesting that Activision have decided to go the route that they have and split partnership at this point in the year. Well, this point at the start of the year. But those are some of my thoughts and opinions. Me being me and being a part-time content creator, I think it's a great time for Destiny, because I think there's going to be a focus on the community and pushing this game forward in quite a novel way, so people who are upcoming can experience the game. And I think that's a good thing, because the game is what it is. It's exciting, it's very addictive, and they're starting to get elements of the game right and responding to fans a lot quicker. So I think in the future, as a game, Destiny will be something that is really, really good, accessible, and something that's got a bit of longevity. It's just the sustainability of it. How are they going to be able to maintain the profit in order to keep the Bungie studios running, because they employ like 1,000 people, if that. So it's going to be an interesting time. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. As you can tell, I never really script my videos, I just talk it how I see it. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that Activision and the Bungie partnership that has now ended is a good thing? Do you think that Bungie should have did everything in their power to stay with Activision? And what are your thoughts on the way going forward with regards to the content of the game and the quality of the game and how it's going to look in the future? Get at me in the comment section below, please, please, please do. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you do like this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Peace.